being the bigger person in a relationship means doing what she did and say, babe, listen here.
Yeah.
How about this? If you have a problem with me, you need to bring it up when you have a problem with me, not string it along for something that you can use as a weapon later.
Yeah. Yep.
Because why? Why would you do that?
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's not something that we're conscious of. It's something that happens unconsciously that needs to be brought to our awareness.
Yep.
But this is exactly why this relationship, especially the marriage, is so powerful for you as a human being, as an individual, because there's somebody in your life that loves and trusts and respects you enough, and you love and trust and respect them enough for them to be able to call you out on your bullshit and you work on it. And that is totally powerful because I can then see where I'm wrong and you can see where you're wrong, and we can change those things. If that never happens, if I just go on thinking I'm right all the time,
nothing will change.
Nothing will change. And I'm not right all the time.
No.
And neither are you right all the time. No human being is right all the time.
Nope.
But we, without being told by somebody, would think we're right all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so today we're talking about one of the most important things that anyone could ever learn. We're talking about communication, not just in relationships, but in your life, in how you deal with people at work, how you deal with your kids, how you deal with your spouse. It all comes down to communication. In fact, if you look back, even wars have even been fought over miscommunication, right? So communication is so important. It's the number one most important thing for a healthy relationship. Would you agree? So that's what we want to talk about today. We have several different points we want to talk to you guys about. We have a lot of different clips that we want to show you, and let's just get into it. Okay. So the first point that I wanted to make is communication is the delivery system for love, trust, and respect. Right?
Yep.
It's not just enough to say you love somebody, right?
Right.
Just saying I trust you, or saying I love you, or saying I respect you. It doesn't mean anything really if you don't show it, right?
Right.
If it's not something that you continually, day in and day out, show to your spouse, right?
Right.
And so, from our experience in our relationship, we've had to learn how to communicate, and it's funny because it's like you don't think you need to learn how to communicate, right? But look around; there are thousands of books, tens of thousands of books written just on this one topic.
Right.
There's probably millions of bits of articles and just related content. People go to counseling for these kind of things. Communication is so important. But it's literally not taught really in schools. I mean, unless you go to something specialized, right?
Yeah.
You don't get taught how to communicate
class in high school.
But there's so many different nuances with communication that it's so important.
Yep.
And it's a shame that we don't get taught this earlier because we had to find out on our own. We had to learn this just through experience, and it's not easy.
No,
it's not easy. And man, you mess up a lot. Just we actually had to, and this is not us alone, but we had to get to a point where we could actually communicate with each other. And we've been married for 18 years, and it wasn't on day one. I'm going to tell you.
And just because you talk a lot does not mean you know how to communicate. Because I'm a talkative person, but I didn't know how to communicate important things like how I felt about something, or how something made me feel, or how something's important to you, or things like that. You have to learn how to communicate that. Just knowing how to talk doesn't mean you know how to communicate. Those are two different things.
So communication has a lot more to do with understanding and getting what you're feeling across to the other person, right? So everything included, all the emotions and things and context and all that has to be, presented in such a way that the other person understands. Now, the other person, to be able to effectively communicate, has to be listening. And that we get into a whole nother can of worms with listening, because there's a difference between active listening and and listening to respond.
Yeah.
That's one of the points that we want to make. Um, it's so difficult in those moments when what I mean. It gets kind of where you feel like you're not being heard,
Right.
and the harder you push, the worse it gets, right? And there are times when we've in our past, we've had arguments, fights, even like not like physical fights, of
No.
course, but like um heated arguments where it was like I'm not, and one of us would just walk away, and
Right.
that's one of the things that we started to identify
Yeah.
that caused us to look back at the way we were communicating individually and assess that we weren't communicating effectively,
Right.
and that there were things that we did need to work on and improve in our own selves to be able to bring that to the relationship to make it what it is. And man, when you do that, when you get that on board, when you're on the same page with each other, oh man, it's so amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's so amazing because you stop worrying about what the other person is going to say, and you start to just be able to listen to what they're saying and make sure they feel heard. And that's that right there is one of the biggest things you could change in your relationship. Is just making sure the other person feels heard. That makes the biggest impact.
Yeah, because if you're the type of person, which we've all done this, if you're having a serious conversation or something that's getting kind of heated, or someone's upset about something and they're trying to relay to you they're upset about something, if you're the type of person that only listens to respond, or you're a reactive person because you get offended easily, or you're just trying to defend yourself, you get on the defensive side, that person's not going to feel comfortable sharing their feelings with you because they have to worry about how you're going to respond.
Right.
If you are a person that listens actively and waits until they are done to then respond, not just you're just waiting for the silence so you can just throw in your 2 cents to defend yourself. If you're actively listening to the person in hopes to help them, both of you, understand each other's feelings on the matter or whatever it may be, that person's going to be more comfortable to talk to you about things and not worry that you're going to get angry because you're normally just really reactive.
Right. And that's that was one of the big things that we learned in our marriage. And here's the truth. I had to realize, no, I had to be told by you that the way I was communicating caused you to feel a certain way. So let me explain. When we would get into a heated argument, and I had the tendency to say things like, "I'm just going to leave then," or maybe you know what I mean, and make those kind of threats, like not directly saying I want to leave you or divorce you or anything like that, but it doesn't need to be a direct. It can be, it's in just in the little threat, like the insinuation that I'm going to leave.
Right.
But it wasn't until you actually had the courage to bring that up to me that to say, look, when we get, when you say these things, it makes me feel like you're going to leave me.
Yeah.
And then I actually thought about that. I thought about that for a long time and then I realized, like, man, if I were to leave her, she's screwed.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean?
Yeah. And not, this is coming from, because I've not always worked. Yes, I went to school and things like that, but that's not everyone's path is the same. Okay. Not all women want to be career women. There are some of us that want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
Yes, it's important. If you want to be a career woman, go to school, get that degree, things like that. But for us who want to be a stay-at-home mom, we need that security that our man, our spouse, is going to be there to make sure that we're taken care of, we're protected, and we feel safe. If we don't feel safe, like if we think that he's just going to leave because we've upset them, then we're going to constantly worry, like, where's my security going to go?
Always on the defensive.
Always on the defensive.
And that's something that's totally different for men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Guys don't need to feel that sense of security because we're the ones that provide the sense of security. Like,
yes.
It's us. Like,
and you
we
should.
leave the household,
right.
It's us. Like, it's on the man, the male. And if I want to take a wife on, I'm now responsible to provide for that person. And it could be the case that we just determine up front we're going to do it together 50-50, like we're both going to work so we can have more things and things like that. No problem.
And we've been in that part where I worked, we both worked, I went to school, things like that. I was a banker and
but the point is that without having a degree where you can go and make six figures, right? And really provide for yourself, right? There's a terror if you think that your spouse is going to leave you. Yeah. And man, that's scary right there. Yeah, learning to understanding that you feel this way when I say these things, and that I needed to change what I said. Yeah. Because I never, ever, ever wanted to convey to you that I was going to actually leave. Right. I never even considered actually ever leaving you. Yeah. I don't want to leave you. But it's in those heated moments when you make false or faceless threats. Yeah. And it's not okay. It's not okay to do.
And even the silent threats. Right. It's the y'all, getting into a heated argument and one just leaves. Like none of these, doesn't even say anything, just gets mad, stomps out, slams the door, takes off in the car. You don't even have to say anything. But at that point, while you are gone, the other one is going to be worried. Are they going to come back? Right. Is this it? Yep. Is this the end?
And that to have a relationship, a healthy relationship, you should never worry about that. No. That should never be the case. No. There should be no concern that you're going to leave me or I'm going to leave you. Because if there is, then I got a real problem here. Because I now need to focus on securing other options. Because if I'm worried about the other person leaving, then it's natural for me to try and secure other options. Yep. But if I'm not worried about that, then there is no other option and I can solely focus on you. Yep. And that's exactly what it is. Yep. It's when there are no other options because there's no room for other options. Does that make sense? Yep. So it's so important that this is so important to understand communication. And man, I'm telling you, it's not easy to just say, "Oh, I'm going to be a better communicator." It took years. Yeah. It really took years for us to really, from the moment we identified that it was necessary. Once you identify, okay, we need to learn how to communicate because if we don't, if we take this down the road, we're just going farther and farther apart. Yeah. And what happens in 5 years, 10 years?
And it's not just communicating how that person makes you feel, because now that you are one, you are a family, okay? But that brings in a whole other thing. I've seen people where, thankfully, we don't have issues where our in-laws are trying to cause drama between us, because I've seen it where a mother-in-law will text their son or text their daughter-in-law and be like, remember, you need to do this for my son because this is what he likes, and he doesn't talk to me anymore now that y'all are married. Why are you against me and all this stuff? I don't have to worry about that. I remember just a couple weeks ago, me and your mom were joking around about something about you, and I can't remember what it was. And she goes, "He's yours now, not mine. That's a you problem," basically. And I'm just like, I'm so grateful that our in-laws are not like that. But but if I didn't feel safe to communicate, like, hey, your in-laws, your parents are causing drama, because I've also seen where one spouse will bring it up that, hey, your mother-in-law, your mom or your dad is causing drama between us or trying to cause drama. This is what she texted me today, or this is what he texted me today, being very hateful. And you take up for your mom or dad instead of taking up for your wife or husband, they're not going to want to come to you anymore. They're not even going to want to deal with it. It's going to be very hard, and it's going to cause a lot of stress on them. Be like, well, they're just always going to take their parents' side instead of mine. Like, you guys are now a family.
Yeah.
You have left your parents' house. You are no longer, you are still family, yes, but you are not under their household anymore. You have your own household to take care of. And if there is lack of communication or comfort in that communication, then how are they supposed to deal with any of that?
But but what you're talking about is real. I mean, this is real life. This is real circumstances that people have to deal with.
They do.
And you have to deal with it. And maybe you have to tell that person, hey, you got to stop.
Yep.
Maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
But if you don't, they'll tear you apart. They will. And I watched a video one time where the wife had to tell the husband that his family was taking advantage of them, was taking advantage of him. And he didn't believe it at first until he saw it.
Yeah.
And because what she did was, I guess they would always go out to eat and he would always pay for everyone. Right. Well, it came, it started to be like where they're asking for money all the time and stuff. And it became about that. Well, and she noticed this and she brought it up to her husband, and he at first didn't agree.
Right.
But then they went to dinner and she said, do this. Don't pay just this one time. Right. Don't pay and see what happens. And sure enough, the tone changed, right?
Yep.
Once they stopped getting money, getting things paid for, it stopped
being
not
happy.
Right. They weren't happy about it. And he saw. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like that may be the case. You may have to do that.
Yep.
It's so important that you identify these things and then take action on them.
Yeah.
But part of that doesn't mean doing it all at once, right? So there's one of the points that we want to make is that tone and timing matter as much as words. And that's so important, because not everything needs to be said. Not everything needs to be said right now.
Exactly.
And not everything needs to be said all at once. You know what I mean? Like, break things down. So actually, we got a clip on that. Let's watch this clip.
You come home at the end of a workday. Okay. There's a right way of doing that you have to negotiate with your wife. Maybe she rushes to the door and meets you with all the problems of the day. Okay, that's probably not a great strategy. Because you're already up to here, you're tired. So is she, likely, from whatever she was doing. You're probably hungry. Well, you don't want to talk to someone. This is another great rule. Don't talk to your partner about something complicated when they're hungry. So maybe you come home, you have something to eat, you kick off your shoes, maybe you take 10 minutes for yourself, and then you can talk. But you want to get that right.
Oh man, that right there, that one, don't talk to your partner when you're hungry. I'm telling you, there is so much more to that than you think.
Yeah.
When you're hungry, you're not thinking the same way.
No.
You are not thinking the same way. I have been hungry before, and I've had thoughts that I was very upset with you specifically, right?
Right.
Over nothing.
Nothing.
I then ate, and those thoughts were gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's insane how just being hungry can cause problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that right there alone, don't talk about problems when you're hungry.
And you got to learn when to bring those up. Like I've done, like in the past, where there was an issue about something, and I remember you were driving home from being out of town for work, and there was a problem that I needed to talk to you about, but I didn't want to tell you when I was on the phone with you when you're on your way home, because then you're just going to be thinking about that problem the whole entire way home. And you had a 6-hour drive. 6 hours of having negative thoughts all the way home is going to affect your drive. And then it's also going to affect how you arrive home to the family. Because the first thing that's going to be on your mind when you get out the car door, when you see us, is not going to be
everything I was thinking.
It's going to be everything, and you're just going to want to hash it out as soon as you get there.
Yeah.
But I waited until you got home, you got settled in, because I always love to come outside, me and the kids. We look at Light 360 as soon as you get like close to home. Like you're like down the road and we're like, okay, Dad's about to pull into the neighborhood, and we all go out the door and we wait at the end of the driveway for you to pull in. We all hug you, and then you come in, you get settled, and then once you're settled, then I can bring up something that's important, because when you bring it up, if you're coming home from work, whether you're the husband or the wife, or you've had a stressful day or a great day, it doesn't matter how your day went, is the first thing that you want to hear when you walk in is all the problems of that other person's day?
No, nobody.
No, like let them come in, let them get settled, eat, and then y'all can talk about the day.
Yeah. No, and that takes some emotional intelligence, realizing that those things and reorganizing the way you would think and do things based on that, right? And that's, man, dude, listen to what she's saying. That it's awesome. Imagine you come home and your wife and kids out waiting for you. That's awesome. I love when I come home from a long drive and see you guys. It's
waiting with smiles on our faces, nothing but joy and gratefulness that you have made at home.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But that's not what most people have.
No.
That's not what most people have at all. And
I can't wait to rant about their day as soon as you walk in that door.
Right.
And that's the last thing. Like, I would not want to come home and then all I hear as soon as I walk through the door is all the problems of the day, because whether I had a good day or bad day, it's now made my bad day worse, or my good day just got soured.
Yeah.
And I want to be like, especially if I had a good day at work, I want to come home and rejoice in the good day that I've had. And then now let's talk about these problems that we can fix.
Yeah. There's a time and a place for everything.
Yes.
And just because you're having a problem doesn't mean everything has to stop. It doesn't. Well, sometimes it does. Now, there are problems where everything does need to stop.
Yes.
But
you got to assess that situation.
Right. You have to assess that situation. But by and large, for the most times, it doesn't need to be said right now. And it can be dealt with over time. You know what I mean? People got to stop thinking in this for that, or in like end all be all and stuff like that. Like, this is a life that we're building together. A relationship is a commitment. It's a life it's a way of life together, right? It's going to go on for a long period, hopefully. We don't need to hash everything out today. We don't need to be perfectly married today. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we can still, in the idea that we can't be civil with each other,
right?
Even though there's something not perfect,
right?
Why can't we still be civil with each other? What does this one thing mean about our whole entire life together?
Right.
Nothing. It's so infantile. It's just nothing compared to the broad spectrum of things. Not everything is defined by this one moment.
Right.
So we just need to understand as humans that there's more to it than just this problem that we're having. Okay, let's watch this clip.
When my wife and I were struggling in our marriage, I always hated hearing the advice, you just need to communicate more, right? Have you ever heard people say, oh, you just need to communicate more? No. The truth is, more of the wrong type of communication will actually make things worse. The problem isn't communication. The problem is safety. The problem is comprehension. The problem is we were playing find the bad guy. We were stuck in a destructive cycle. Criticize, defend, passive aggressiveness, dismiss, accuse, invalidate, and shut down. We were both playing off of each other without realizing it. We couldn't see our part because we were too busy trying to blame the other person. Well, if they would just, then everything would be fine. But the truth is, neither of us were actually trying to be vulnerable anymore. Neither of us actually knew how to have a healthy, productive conflict. Anyone can communicate more, but the couples that stay together learn how to listen to understand more. The couples that make it are curious and empathetic and respectful during a conflict more. The ones that survive say the words, I'm sorry, more.
So it's so important to recognize the cycles he's talking about, because it is cyclical, and you can identify these cycles of and you know when it's a cycle because it just keeps, it never ends, right?
Yeah.
You get into a fight, then you shut down, and then you cool off, and then wait a couple days or weeks,
Start
or
all
months,
over
and it starts
again.
all over again.
Yep.
But never actually goes anywhere.
Right.
So when you start to recognize that this isn't going anywhere, you're in a cycle. You're stuck in a cycle, and you just got to understand that it's human nature to want to try and defend yourself,
Right.
especially if you feel like you're being attacked.
Yeah.
Especially if you feel like you're being attacked. It's just human nature. So you're really trying to fight against human nature. And so one of the biggest things that helped me to understand these things is the difference between the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. You probably didn't think I was going to go that direction, did you?
Nope.
No, but it's you probably heard the words fight or flight and rest and digest, right? So these are two different nervous system states that affect your thinking very, very in a very direct way. And if you're in the fight or flight response, you're not able to really think clearly, and you're not able to think about how you could be wrong, because in that fight or flight response, you're never wrong.
Be in the defensive, basically.
You're totally just defend. So you're always just, your mind is constantly looking for ways for you to be not at fault.
Right.
And that's when you start, not you, but that's when we as humans start to bring up things from the past. And man, that you really want to stay away from bringing up things from the past.
Yes.
It's so important that when you're addressing something, if we're going to address a problem, if we're going to talk about a problem, if you want to go to communicate with somebody about a problem, you want to use what's called the envelope method, where you're only focused on what's in the envelope.
Right.
This thing.
Yeah.
You don't bring up things from the past, and I won't bring up things from the past.
Yep.
And if you can do that, then you can keep it centered on just this one topic, and then you can start to think about, okay, how do we both need to navigate this one thing?
Right. Yeah, and because I feel like a lot of times for people, when they feel like they need to defend themselves, when the person's trying to communicate something, once a person starts feeling offended or like they need to defend themselves, then they tend to be like, well, you did this, you used to do this all the time.
Yeah. Oh man,
does that matter right now? Does what they used to do all the time matter right now? No, because now you just made this worse.
Right. You're in that kind of, in that language, you're trying to say that you need to be perfect, and anything you did in the past is now fair game for me to expose, to try and deflect away from.
Yeah. Like, don't look at my mistakes, because you made a bunch too.
Right. It's so important for us to understand that this is human nature. Neither one of us are narcissists. It's human nature to behave this way.
Yep.
And just because somebody's behaving in a way that might indicate that narcissistic tendencies does not mean that they are a narcissist.
No.
So you have to understand that this is a human being, and we're both humans, and we could both be at fault here.
Yep.
And that's when you can start to actually have conversations that go in the right direction. Because without that, like the video was saying, it's just cyclical. You know what I mean? You got to understand. So there's another clip I want to show you about that. This one's a good one.
Where we had a situation when we were younger in our marriage, and Renee was come to me with a situation, something that I did.
I have a problem.
She had a problem with something that I did. And she told me what it was. And then guess what I did? I broke out my tennis racket and I hit something right back at her about something she did that had nothing to do with what she brought up to me. And her response, instead of hitting it back at me, she said,
babe, if you have a problem with something that I did, then you should have brought it up initially. Let's do this. When I come to you, or you come to me with a concern, that you need to know that you can come to me with your concern, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to try to understand it. I'm not going to then deflect by then giving you my concern. So whoever comes with the concern has the table.
Smart woman.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and that, like I said, I mean, this is human nature. I've done it. You've done it. We all do. And everybody, I'm sure, knows. Everyone watching knows somebody that's done this same thing.
Yeah.
So it's human nature for people to do that.
Yep.
Being the bigger person in a relationship means doing what she did and say, babe, listen here.
Yeah.
You know, how about this? You have
Yeah.
a problem with me. You need to bring it up when you have a problem with me, not string it along
Yep.
for something that you can use as a weapon later.
Yeah. Yep.
Because why? Why would you do that?
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's not something that we're conscious of.
Mm.
It's something that happens unconsciously that needs to be brought to our awareness.
Yep.
But this is exactly why this relationship, especially the marriage, is so powerful for
Yep.
you as a human being, as an individual, because there's somebody in your life that loves and trusts and respects you
Yeah.
enough, and you love and trust and respect them enough for them to be able to call you out on your bullshit, and you work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is totally powerful, because I can then see where I'm wrong, and you can see where you're wrong, and we can change those things. If that never happens, if I just go on thinking I'm right all the time,
Nothing will change.
nothing will change. And I'm not right all the time.
No.
And neither are you right all the time. No human being is right all the time.
Nope.
But we, without being told by somebody, would think we're right all the time.
Oh yeah.
And that's a big problem for people that are single.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big problem for people that are single. We call this the ego, even. When it gets to a certain point, we would call it out as an ego. This person has an ego. And it's because it's clear that they think they're right all the time, and that they couldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
And it's totally false.
Yeah.
But when you have a partner, a real partner in this relationship that loves you enough to say, to tell you when you're done something wrong, and when it needs to be in a loving and respectful way, not in a I'm trashing you, talking you, or going online and talking about you behind your back. That is terribly disrespectful.
I can't stand that.
If you have that, though, man, you can really improve who you are and how you communicate in the world. And how great would it be if you could communicate better in the world with other people, in your work, in your business, in other relations, with your kids? How much better person how much farther could you go if you're a better communicator, because you've got somebody at home that loves you enough to bring these things out when it's a problem? Because it is, nobody's perfect.
Nope.
You're going to, especially if you get married young, you're going to make lots of mistakes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just natural and normal to make mistakes. And I say this all the time, like, I'm not saying it's like healthy to have arguments, but you got to understand that we're two separate people.
Yeah, it's
You're going to disagree.
Yeah.
You're absolutely going to disagree.
Yep.
You're not always going to agree with the same thing.
I would actually be kind of worried if you did agree with the other person on 100% of the things 100% of the time, because are you your own person?
Right. So that gets into passive aggressive behavior.
Yep.
And essentially you're walking on eggshells with each other. And then it becomes, I'm just not going to bring this up because I'm afraid of what's going to happen if I do. So you just stay quiet about it and you don't say anything. And that's worse.
Yeah.
It's worse.
It is.
I would probably prefer you come bringing it up in the wrong way than not bringing it up at all.
Yeah.
Because if you don't bring it all, I don't know what's wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So then that gets into the point about fighting fair. You know, it's not about winning. It's not about attacking. It's not about winning. It's not about
proving the other person's wrong.
It's about communicating what you feel and communicating to the other person how this relationship is going. You're going to have to do this. There's no way around it. Yep. There's no single binding document or contract that you could forge in the beginning that's going to cover all the bases, that you don't need to ever have another conversation with the other person ever. Come on now. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different little things. And there's things that when you get married, like you were raised differently than I was raised. You know what I mean? We have different parents that came from different backgrounds, have different styles and methods of parenting.
Definitely, yeah.
So we now have to join those two together and we have to take what's good from this one and take what's good from this one and take the bad things and move them out. And that's how we do better than our parents did. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like our parents did terrible and we need to do better in that regard, but we can do better because we have all this experience from these other different.
And people don't think about that you've come from two different backgrounds. Right. You've learned things, you've picked up things from your parents, you've seen how their relationships go, whether they're bad or good. You've picked that up. Yep. And a lot of times, there's even in bad relationships, you unknowingly are going to pick up that and it becomes normal to you. Well, this is how my parents did, or this is how my single mom or my single dad, this is what's happened to them. This just is normal. Like, this is normal life. Not all of it's normal. And you got to learn what is and what's not, and learn how to communicate and learn how, like, hey, this can hurt it, this can help it. You know, what is going to help the relationship, and kind of sift through all that.
Right. No, it's so important. Okay, so going back to what you were saying about listening to understand versus listening to respond. So let's watch this clip here.
97% of the part of communication that you need to be good at is listening to what the other person's saying. Because everybody thinks that good communication means I'm going to talk a bunch. Like, oh, I got a beef with my wife, I'm going to go talk to her. So I go, we sit down, I talk 97% of the time. I walk away thinking I had a great conversation. I really proved my point. My wife's ready to file for divorce. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happens. So if you want to communicate well, shut your mouth and listen to what other people say.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is the longer you go before you say something, the more your mind has to think about it, and then when you do go to talk, you're just gonna unload it. Yeah, and it's gonna feel like to the other person, it's gonna be like, holy, where does all this come from? Right. They're going to be so thrown off guard by you just dumping all of this words on them. Yeah. And you think the person doing it's like, I got that off my chest. Yeah. But we're good now. The other person's like, I don't know what to do now. I think we're done here. Yeah. There's so much that they just said. Yeah. I don't know how to respond. Right. It could even be debilitating. I could unload on you, or you unload on me, and we could be left feeling like totally defeated by it. Yep. And that's not communicating. No. How is that communicating? Nope. That's just words. That's just ranting. It's just ranting. It's literally ranting and nothing else. Now, I rant a lot, and you rant. We both rant, but not about each other. No. We never rant to each other about each other. No. We rant about other things, but we never rant about each other. If we have a problem with the other person, we bring it up at the right time, in a respectful way, which took time to learn. Because it wasn't always like that. It was, as soon as it happened, it was like, it didn't matter what it was. It could be the smallest of thing, biggest of thing. It was going to get brought up right now, and I don't care what you have to say about it, because this is what hurt my feelings or whatever, and I'm going to get it all out and be done. It was like the same thing as what he was saying. Like, okay, I got it off my chest, we're good to go. No. And you could bring it up at the worst time. And we've done it. Oh, yeah. We know what we're talking about because we've experienced it. Yeah. We've lived through it. But the only thing that got us through it was that we love each other. Like, we're two peas in a pod as far as, how we feel about each other. Yeah. So that alone has kept us from thinking about leaving each other in those times. Right. When it was just like, man, are we ever going? And I mean, there was things that I needed to communicate to you that took a long time. And I, can remember thinking, like, is this ever going to, like, is she ever going to get it? And in fact, no, seriously. Yeah. And in fact, I had to come to the realization that what if it doesn't? What if she never learns? Does that matter? Am I going to leave her if she never learns? So I had to say to myself, okay, even if she doesn't get it, I still love her. Like I still married this person.
Yeah.
And these expectations that I have now that I want to communicate to her, she doesn't know anything about that.
Right.
And for me to say, if she never gets this, I'm going to leave. What? What makes that okay?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was never agreed upon from the beginning. Like if you remember, there were specific vows that said, I'm going to, take care of you or whatever, do these things till death do us part. Like regardless of the good times or the bad times, or you or me not getting something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that may be the case. It may be the case that they're never going to get it. And that's got to be okay. It's got to be okay. That could be the case.
Yep.
Now, of course, you want to, over time, work with each other and get better over time. And maybe 20, 30 years down the road, you're better. But, I mean, I know couples that have been married for 50 years, and they'll tell you that they still love each other the same, but it's not perfect every day. Like, it's not like you're just, it's sunshine and rainbows every day.
No.
It's not. But man, it's worth it. It's worth it because 97% of the time it is sunshine and rainbows as far as the relationship's concerned. Yeah. Because man, if she's having a bad day, she can come to me. If I'm having a bad day, I can go to her. And there's many times that I've had bad days.
Yes.
And I was able to get things off my chest to you.
And I just sit and listen.
Right.
Just let you, because it could be about work. And I know some people are like, don't bring work home and things like that. We understand this, okay? But you have to have somebody that you can communicate with and tell about your day.
Right.
And I want that to be me, you know? Because if it's not me, then who is it? And yes, he has his guys that he can go to when there's maybe a conversation that maybe I don't really understand. He can still talk to me about it, get it off his chest about the day, anything like that. But he does have his guy friends, just like I got my girlfriends. But I want to be that person, and I want him to be the person that I can go to and be like, oh my gosh, listen to what happened today. This is what's bothering me, or I feel really bad about this happening to this person. I'm very empathetic towards people. Sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I wasn't so empathetic, but I want to be able to come to him and be like, this is what's happened today. And how should I react to this? Or how should I feel like I should talk to this person about what's happened in their life, If I don't feel comfortable communicating with him about anything like that, then what am I going to feel comfortable communicating about? Right. Because I take, work stuff as that's small things, Yeah. If I don't feel like I can communicate about my bad work day, which normally is just, dumb drama stuff, right. Especially in like an office setting, it's usually just drama.
Yeah.
But if I don't feel like I can communicate to him about those simple things, then what can I communicate about?
Right.
Like, same thing for you. He should be able to feel comfortable. Like, he's had a bad day at work. He needs to be able to come home, and there is a right way and a wrong way to rant about your day. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. To come home and just blast everyone, the whole family, blast it for everyone to hear, that's not the right way. And then to take your anger out on the day on your family, to be frustrated about everything else, you really got to sit back and look and be like, okay, what am I actually frustrated with my family? No, they didn't cause my bad day. So-and-so at work being a child over their actual position, what they're supposed to be doing that day or whatever it was, that's who upset you. Your family didn't upset you. You should be able to come home and communicate with your spouse. You're like, oh my gosh, let me just tell you about my day. And we've done that. We've sat in those chairs right over there and just talked about, and I've just let you talk about it, and you're like, thank you for letting me talk about my day. And then we carried on, made dinner, and had a great old night with the kids, Yeah. And the kids didn't even know about your bad day.
You got to understand that you're not going to have perfect days every day, and you're going to have a lot of bad days. And it's totally true that just naturally people not even realizing it bring that stuff home and take it out on their spouse and take it out on their kids even. And I'm not saying that I'm not
Right.
included in that. I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
And there are, but I'm not alone. And there are many people who have developed this routine where when they get home, they do a specific thing to let the day go.
Yep.
And I mean, seriously, I know people that will literally like pretend hang something up when they walk through the door. And that's there's the signal to their brain that
letting it go.
I'm letting this day go, and I'm now switching into parent or dad or mom or whatever,
just spouse or
husband or boyfriend, whatever. I'm now transitioning from the terrible day or whatever happened that day to the family or whatever.
Yeah.
This other thing, and it's really important that that occurs, that you do these things. I'm not saying you need to actually physically
yeah.
but your mind does need to shift, because if it doesn't, it carries into it, and then the negative thoughts you had during the day carry into your life at home. And what does that do to your relationship? It breaks it down. It's like there's a good analogy is there's you can think about relationships as an emotional bank account, and you can deposit into this bank account and you can withdraw from this bank account, right?
Yep.
But what happens when you try to take too much out? You know what I'm saying? You try to deposit more than you've added.
Yep.
And this is when problems happen.
Yep.
This is when the other person feels like they're unloved or unheard or all these other things.
Yep.
And then that becomes difficult to communicate. You know, how do you communicate that you feel unloved?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or worse, how do you communicate that your husband how would a woman communicate that her husband isn't a strong enough man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Those are real things.
Yeah.
But that's so difficult.
It is
to have to try and communicate.
Yep. Especially on that note, the communicating that to your man that he seems to be weak or not man enough or things like that. It's going to come off if you don't know how to communicate it or they don't know how to listen to understand. It's going to come off badly because but it's very important to communicate that, because and we've seen it in people that we know where the woman is tired of feeling like they have to be the man in the relationship, that they are the one that everything is on their shoulders because the man is not stepping up to the plate like they're supposed to. And the woman often will say, I just want to be able to be in my feminine side more.
Right.
And that's telling you they don't feel secure being your spouse. They don't feel like they're safe. They don't feel like they can be the soft, gentle woman. I mean, not every woman is going to be this soft little gentle thing. Or, but with their man, that's when they want to be able to feel soft and gentle. Just because some woman that's a strong, independent woman on the outside, whenever you're working with them or something, they're going to be different when they're with their husband.
Yeah.
I can be a strong, independent woman when I'm at work and do things on my own and say, I can do this on my own. But when I'm with you, I want to feel safe. I want to feel like I can just curl up in your arms and be my soft, feminine self and not be the man of the relationship,
Right. No. And it takes you need to be that strong man to make you feel that way. If you're not the strong man, then they're going to feel like they have to be.
Yep.
And that's when you're going to get conflict.
Oh yeah.
But when you take on that identity and you embody it, they turn into the identity that they should be in. The woman of the comforter, the nurturer. And it's so important that we have, especially if you have kids, it's so important that these roles are properly aligned, because if they're not, then the kid's not getting the full spectrum of what they need.
Right.
They're not getting the discipline, or they're not getting enough nurture. And that causes so many different problems. There's so many things caused that adults today deal with. Many adults today deal with problems from misaligned parents, parents that weren't on the same page, parents that weren't in their proper roles, and didn't didn't provide the spectrum of hard versus soft, and nature versus nurture, discipline, and it's important. It's so important that they get this full spectrum, or they come out and they go into adulthood unprepared.
Yep.
And it's no good for anybody. And man, if you're in that situation, it's really difficult to get out of, especially depending on how far you go in the other way. It's really difficult to get out of. And we know so many people we know single mothers that are trying to fill both roles, and it's so difficult. You can't do it.
No.
You can't do it.
No.
It's just not possible for you to fill both roles as a parent.
And you may say, yes, I can do this all by myself, but it's going to take a toll on you.
It's going to take a toll on you. It's going to take a toll on the kids.
You're going to start to feel it, and a lot are going to be in denial.
It's not possible. You're in denial.
Yes.
If you're saying that, and I get it. I totally understand why you would have to say that.
Yes.
Because if that's the situation, if you don't have somebody, then and it is you, you got to say that.
Yep.
You got to say I can do it, or else you have to admit that you can't do it. And who wants to admit that they can't do something?
Exactly.
Nobody. So the fact is, the fact remains though, that there needs to be those two different roles being shown or being provided. And if you're a single mother, then it may be a fact that it's a brother that that can help to give that side of it, right? Or a cousin or a friend. In fact, a lot of the people we know, we have they'll have we've actually watched other of our friends, we've had watched their kids just so that their kids can get exposed to a male figure. It's so important. All right, the last point that we want to make is about unspoken expectations. And we talked about this a little bit, but let's watch this clip and then we'll kind of discuss that.
Here's the other biggest mistake, if you want to jot it down, that happens in relationship. Most people go to an intimate relationship looking to get something, and they have a bunch of expectations. And if their expectations aren't met, they're upset. And the truth is, a relationship is a place you're supposed to go to give something. But we've been all raised in different ways, and some of us have been raised to think that someone is supposed to look after, love us every single moment a certain way, whatever that way is. But the truth is, relationships are the most beautiful place on earth because, as I said the other day, what happens the minute you experience something that is really enjoyable, really beautiful, what's the first thing most of us want to do? Want to share it with somebody we love. Why? Because jot this down, the purpose of a relationship is to magnify human emotion. The reason you want to share that experience is in sharing it becomes more in you. You can only experience so much joy, happiness, pleasure in yourself. But when you have someone that's a beloved for you and you share it, it goes to a different level.
Right. It's people often write these things like relationships off as nothing, or it's just a piece of paper we heard. And it's so wrong. It's wrong to think that totally, because we're humans, and in human nature requires certain things, and it requires that you're in this environment where you get to express yourself and you get to share with other people. Man, I mean, I know people that I have friends that are alone, and I think to how they must feel not being able to share good times with them, or bad, or the bad times with them. You know what I mean? Like with anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not having anybody, and that's if that's what you think, then you don't know what humans are all about. You don't understand human connection.
Right.
And you don't understand that human connection is required. In fact, there was a study done a long time ago with babies that they did this experiment where they they had these babies and they didn't give them any
There's two
any
groups.
human connection. All right, 2 groups or something like that.
Yep.
The ones that didn't get any human connection, nobody came in, checked on, no, they like got delivered
No human
food,
touch.
no human touch, actually died.
Yes.
Actually died from that, from the lack of that. It's insane. Human beings need connection with another person.
Yep.
And having somebody all the time, every day, that you can share life with is so important. It's so much more than a piece of paper.
Yep.
It's so much more, and it's so important to have.
Yep.
We yearn for it even. I mean, even people, and you hear this all the time, and this is one of the reasons we do this, is because you hear this a lot from modern women and modern men that they're just going to go their own way. They're just going to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And they are totally lying to themselves.
Yep.
And they are going to regret it. They're not going to tell you about how they regret it, but they are going to regret it. I promise you. When they're 50 years old and they're all alone and they got nothing but cats around them, they're going to regret it.
Yep.
When they got no kids, nothing to give them any kind of joy or love or peace or comfort, they're going to regret it. They're going to regret it. And I am afraid that it's become trendy to do that. It's become trendy. And now people online are even making content around that and actually using that to make money even. That's insane that they're perpetrating this lie because they're telling people that you don't need somebody else. And it's totally a lie. They're going to sell so many people into a life of misery because they don't have somebody. They have it. And man, try to build a relationship when you're 50.
Yeah.
Good luck. Try to build a relationship when you're 30.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yep. Because you just lived this life all by yourself,
doing everything yourself. And now you're going to bring somebody in that has their own proclivities. And then finding someone in your 40s or 50s, they've got a whole list of baggage.
Yep.
Both of them do.
They have a whole life that's already been built on being alone.
Yes.
And now they're going to have to try to work in somebody else's life. Like, you have full grown careers now, and it's going to be very difficult.
No, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. And the numbers shrink the farther you go.
Yep.
The longer you wait, the numbers start to shrink. So the best advice we can give someone is finding love early in life and building a life. It's not going to be perfect.
No.
You're not going to be. It's not going to be that 2 peas in a pod moment from the beginning.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But if you learn how to communicate and you learn how to love and respect each other, despite the little nuances, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. You don't need to be trained as a psychologist to do it.
Yeah.
You don't need the whole couples therapy and all that. We've never been to couples therapy. We've literally done this on our own.
Yep. Now, people are going to there are going to be people that are going to disagree with the fact of finding love early. And I know there's going to be people that's like, no, work on your career first. You can work on a career
you can
while together.
Yes,
You've literally worked on your career while we've been married. You didn't start college until after we, got married. But you can do all that together.
Right. But think about it. You can.
So much better doing it together.
The real fact, the truth, the fact is you can do it. You can do it at the same time. You can build a relationship with somebody and work on your career.
Building a life together.
I've done it. You did it. Millions of people have done it. So to say that you can't is a lie.
It's a total lie.
It's a total lie. But people you'll find on the internet all the time are saying these things like, you need to focus on your career. You need to build your career first. No.
Yeah.
No. You need to find love first. You need to find human connection first.
Human connection is very important.
You can together work on that. Because how are you going to work on your career if you don't have somebody you can vent to, if you don't have somebody that can help steer you in the right direction?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so important. It's not something that should be taken for granted. It's really important to build that life with somebody. Right?
I'm glad we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so glad we did. I couldn't imagine doing all of that alone and then then be like, okay, now it's time to go out here and try to find somebody that I can share this life that I've built. Also, on top of they gotta now share their life that they've already built. We've built everything together. We've literally started from scratch, from moving out of our parents' house to moving in together. I literally graduated high school. The next year we got married, and then the next year after that had a kid, and like we've started our life from scratch.
Now, don't get us wrong. We're not advocating that people should get married out of high school or
No,
like that.
that's just how it happened for us.
That's what we did. We don't have any,
No,
there's not a problem with it, but
No.
it makes it a lot more difficult because you're still a child.
yeah,
You're still very much a child.
yeah. We started out very young.
We probably wouldn't say we really started to grow up until late 20s, even, really.
Mhm.
And I mean, seriously, just
Mhm.
being honest, like probably late 20s before we were like growing up enough
Mhm.
to like start to take these things seriously.
Yeah. Oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
definitely. Because the
And
first
now,
part was just more like almost like I can't believe we're doing this. Like I still feel like a child. Like I remember when we first got married, I still felt like I wasn't done yet. Like what did we just do? Like we just
it was different for me because I was
Yeah.
in the military.
Well, yeah,
and
you
I was
already-
stationed abroad, or not stationed.
you'd already moved out.
Spent time overseas. And things,
Yeah.
So like,
So you'd already had this head start on being an adult by yourself. I literally went from living with my parents to being married and living with my husband. So in a different state, even like went from living with my parents to living in a complete different state, 16 hours away, and trying to navigate. Now a married woman.
but what we are,
but I wouldn't
saying-
take it back.
Right,
I would
exactly.
never. I don't
that's
regret
the
it.
point that I want to end with is that we are saying that you can do it.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
let anyone dissuade you from that. You can.
Yeah.
You can get married young, and you can build a life together, even
Yeah.
though you're young, and you'll figure it out together.
Yeah.
You can do it. It does take a lot of work, but
does.
you're gonna have to put that work in anyways.
Hmm.
And the idea that you can wait till you're 30 to find somebody, it's just a farce. Good luck.
Mhm.
Good luck trying to find a mate when you're 30. I mean,
Yeah.
go ask people that are looking for someone in their 30s.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
I mean,
don't even
I've
get me
seen
wrong.
it.
Like, I've talked to friends of mine that are on dating apps. It's disgusting.
mhm.
I could not imagine trying to date right now. There's no way.
I wouldn't want to.
No way.
I wouldn't want to. And
Women on dating apps are getting hit up by
Mhm.
thousands of
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
It's disgusting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's the worst.
Yep.
And guys on there are getting nothing, or it's like it's just very difficult.
or they're getting
It's very difficult for women to
getting-
take guys seriously because of all the trash guys they encounter.
all the trash guys. And then with the men, a lot, they're getting these women who have such these ridiculously high expectations. Like, you need to make this amount of money every year because this is the lifestyle that I have, and I want you to be able to afford my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which is completely selfish. But on top of that, I'm glad that we did it so early because there's a lot of things that we needed to learn that we've learned together that we wouldn't have learned if we waited. Like, whenever you're learning how to communicate with your spouse, if you're only just now learning how to do all that in your 30s and 40s, you're just now learning how to communicate with a spouse. Much harder is that going to be? You've only known how to communicate with yourself for the past how many years you've lived alone.
Right.
And now you've got to now take in someone's critiques,
Yeah.
like
Not easy.
like that's a lot of times that turns out to I'm always right because I've never had anybody to combat with. Not that it's combative,
No,
but that's lack
a
of a
lot
better
of people
word.
will surround themselves by people that just affirm their own
Only,
actions.
yeah.
Right. They live in an echo chamber of people that are
Yeah.
just telling them that you go, girl, you're
Yeah.
a baddie.
Yeah.
You don't need him. If that's what you're filling your circle with,
Mhm.
you're wrong. I
And
mean,
man.
you're going to it's going to hurt you.
Mhm. And you've seen the guys who are just, the group of single guys, or you may have a couple married guys in that group, but sometimes they are having a super crappy relationship. So they will also then say, yeah, you don't need it. She's nothing but trouble. Like it's literally drama all the time. She nags, just stay single. Don't even do it. Like, I'm stuck.
There's a whole movement. It's called MG toe or something. Men go their own way. It's a whole movement.
Yes.
Women have their own movement, but men have a movement. It's bad. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's totally wrong because it's going to lead you into a life of misery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might think in this moment you're fine, but you're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about when you're going to be 60 or 50. You're not thinking about when you're going to be older and alone.
Yep.
And not everybody's a millionaire that can just can be single and alone and party every night and
right.
and live that life of luxury. No, that's not everybody. No. People have real lives that with real jobs, careers that have problems, that come with issues that where they need a place they can go to talk to somebody. And if you don't have that, if you don't have somebody in your life that you can do that with, I'm sorry, I feel bad for you. I really do, because it's so important for your life to be able to do that. You don't get to go through this life without talking through your problems. I'm sorry. It's just not true.
And it's going to be hard.
It's going to be very hard.
It's hard to talk through your problems with somebody.
Yeah.
But it's better to have that somebody to talk through your problems with than not to have anything at all.
Right. And it's a shame that people are being led in that direction. I mean, you're not talking about nothing. There's literally
it's huge.
There's literally movements like we talked about, but there's also, have you heard of the Whatever podcast? They have this, like, they've built this app where you can, like, put in all your expectations of a man, and it'll tell you what percentage of men there are in the world that meet these expectations. It's insane.
Yep.
A lot of the women that do this on the podcast will get, like, results like 0.00005%.
Yeah.
Like, almost nobody.
Yep.
Almost nobody.
I have.
Right.
Like, some of them expect the men to be millionaires already.
The fact that there's an app for this.
Yes.
Somebody built an app for this.
Yep.
Tells you something's going on.
Yep.
Right. And it's this online, these movements online, these feminist movement type. And I'm not just saying it's all about feminists, but but the men have their own movement like this. But think about the damage it's doing to relationships.
Right.
And thinking about the damage it does to the individual, it's a shame. It's really a shame. And it's so bad that we felt like this is what we needed to do this. We needed to put to show an example of what a healthy relationship looks like. Not from two psychologists, not from two doctors, from two regular ass people. We're regular people.
Yep.
And we're living life, and we've lived life for the last 18 years. We've been married. We've got 2 kids, and we know the ins and outs of it. We've experienced it. We've been through it.
One of our kids is about to be an adult.
Right. We've been through it all, and we've made it through. We've made it to this. I don't want to say nirvana, but we've made it to this place where it's like we're one. We're the same person. I mean, and we even finish each other's sentences sometimes.
Which sounds, I know it's corny, but I mean, we literally, I don't know how many times my brother or like there's some of our friends are just like, you guys are so alike.
No, it's a phenomenon that I'm actually like studying, because I want to write a book on this, because we share the same thoughts sometimes. I'll be thinking of something, I'll bring it up, and you'll be like, I was just thinking that same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this is not just one time, it's happened many, many times. Enough to where I think this is a phenomenon I need to study.
I remember we responded to my brother. He said something, and we both at the same time responded the same thing. And he just looked at us and he goes, "You guys spend way too much time together." And we just laughed. We're like, actually, I wish we could spend more. Like, we literally spend all the time, all free time possible, we spend with each other. Now, yes, I have my girl nights. You can go out and have guys nights, things like that. There's nothing that stops that from happening, but we just love doing everything together so much. It's like I've actually brought him on girls' nights, and my girlfriends love it. They do love him so much, and
I
there's
give
a
all the
couple
best
that are
advice.
single, and they love to ask him advice. And one of them once, like, she's like, "Can you please introduce me to your friends? Do you have any
Somebody
friends that
like
are
you.
like you? Like, because I need to find a man like you." And it's hilarious, and I love it so much. But we've grown so much together that we just always want to spend our time with each other. Like, yes, I love having my girls' nights, but I'm like, can my husband come?
No, and you can have that too.
It's not
It's not
impossible.
impossible. It's not exclusive to just select people. It's
Yeah.
not. And I know we've heard the term soulmates and things like that. And I'm telling you, you can cultivate this yourself. But it takes work,
Mhm.
and it takes an understanding that you're both human, and that humans are fallible, and that we
Mhm.
make mistakes, and we have emotions, and we bring those emotions into things, and
Yep.
we build things up in our minds, and all that garbage. All that garbage. You're never going to find somebody with no baggage. You're
Yep.
never going to find somebody with no issues. You're likely to find somebody that has things that you want to change about them. That's just the
Yeah.
case. I mean, that's just the truth of the argument. But
Mhm.
the fact is, or the idea here is that you can, in your own mind, reconcile that even if this person doesn't master being a human, I'm still going to love them. I'm still going to care
Mhm.
for them, because guess what? I made a commitment to you. I promised you
Yep.
I was going to do this, and I'm a man of my word, and I live up to my
Yep.
commitments. And that's the importance of marriage,
Yep.
because without that, I would have just left a long time ago. I
Right.
would have just left a long time ago if I didn't have that commitment. If I
Right.
had not made that commitment to her,
Yep.
then I would have left a long time ago, because it's so hard,
Yeah.
because it's very
It is
difficult.
hard.
And
Yep.
I've had those thoughts so many times when we've gotten into arguments where it's just like,
Yep.
not trying to vocalize it, but in my own mind, like,
Mhm.
it would be so much easier if I started over with someone else. It would be so much
Mhm.
easier if I left.
It'd be
You know what
so
I
much
mean?
easier if I was just single. Like,
But
everybody's gonna have those thoughts.
every single time,
Yep.
I'm reminded, in my mind, my conscience reminds me
Mhm.
that I made a commitment, and I don't back down from my commitments. I
Yep.
see them through. So I I instantly come back to, okay, we can work this out.
Yeah.
And we do.
It's
It's never come to something that we couldn't work out.
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
And I'm telling you,
It took years
had
to learn.
yes, and we've had to deal with things that had been bottled up for years.
Yep.
There are things that came out in it's not easy, and you get tearful sometimes. I mean, like, there's a lot of emotion there. You can't
Mhm.
exclude the fact that there's a lot of emotion there.
Yep.
And the idea that men can't show emotion is totally false.
Oh, it's
totally
ridiculous.
false. It's ridiculous.
Yes. I can't stand when I've seen women just trash on men for crying and showing emotion. Like, you're a human being,
You
whether
wanna marry
you're
a robot?
male or female, it does not matter. We all have the same emotions.
Yes.
We all have things that we're going to cry about. Now, I understand if someone's a blubbering baby over every single thing, okay? That's a whole other story. There's a healthy line of
Yes.
crying and wanting to be open, and something that's going to make you tearful, whether it's tears of joy or tears of sorrow. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
And for you to say you're a man, you should never cry, that is disgusting.
It's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. They're
It's
a human. And
dismissive.
just like you said, do you want to marry a robot? Because if you want to marry a robot, they're not going to understand then why you are upset about something.
Right. And we both have had to deal with neurological things. Like, I have
Mhm.
ADHD. You probably have ADHD.
Yep.
So there's been times when I've been overwhelmed.
Mhm.
And if I can't, share those emotions to guys, I can never share those kind of emotions to another guy. It's just different.
Mhm.
So I need to be able to share those emotions with somebody.
Mhm.
And no, it's so important that I can have that with you. I
Yep.
can be able to have a moment of a breakdown moment,
Mhm.
and you
I'm there to comfort.
have the emotional intelligence enough
Mhm.
to sit with me and just comfort and let me know it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And get me through it.
Mhm.
And me do the same with you.
Mhm.
And it's so important. It really is.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that's it. Anything else you want to say? Thank you guys so much for watching. We enjoy making this content for you guys. We enjoy sharing our relationships with you, sharing our experience and the things that we've learned. And we hope that you guys learn a lot from us. And we hope that we can help more. And thank you guys for watching.